man. Incredible.
Okay, we started the broadcast here. Brian, you want to introduce that to the public?
Okay, so we're live?
Yeah.
All right, good. So welcome to our Awakeness, Letting Love Levitate Hangout. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're watching. So this is our group consciousness group meditation. And you can find our guidelines at awakeness.com and read through those. We'll tend to give you a good overview. There's also lots of postings of other videos and some highlight reels too. We have some shorter highlight reels, and you know, stick in as long as you can. We've found that the longer you participate, the longer we participate, the deeper we settle into being awake as one body, heart, and mind. So again, we're really glad you're here. We're glad you're watching and participating. And feel free to connect with us after Hangouts as well. You can find our page. Should be linked with these YouTube videos or off of Awakeness. You'll find our Google Plus page, and you can connect with us there as well. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Sperry, who will introduce or take on the first share, and then we go from there. Go ahead, Sperry.
I noticed that our website is still down, awakeness.com, so we'll have to work on that. So I'd like to suggest that we experientially explore some of the vital elements that it helps a lot to, or is essential to be able to be awake as one. And internally, we have this so-called conscious mind, which is only about 5% of our nervous system. And so we're aware of that part of us. And then the other 95% has been of our nervous system is built through so-called unconscious perception, but it's actually, being the majority of us, is actually vastly more conscious. It's just that it patterns its structure by witnessing what's happening and creates habits, so that our nose remains our nose and our lips continue to look like our lips, and everything about us is established as incomparably unique. And then this so-called conscious mind, this 5%, looks for what are new possibilities, and is very creatively involved with everything that we're perceiving and experiencing habitually with the other 95%. So it's like there's two of us almost. But they can share a common witness. The witness is like a mirror in which all of us and these two parts of us can look and become self-aware of what's happening in our whole body, heart, and mind as individuals, and indivisibly as a collective greater body, heart, and mind. Our higher self as our collective self can look at itself, and we can feel and sense together as one. So this requires a certain amount of being very sensitive to pointing our attention, which we have creative control over. We can point our attention to what it is that we're noticing. And by simply speaking about what we're noticing as we're noticing it in the moment, we become more aware of what it is that we're aware of as it is happening, not only alone but together. And the subconscious, habit-based body-mind begins to notice with the so-called conscious, creative part of us, and we're all doing this together. And essentially, it is simple if we all pay attention to what it is that what is noticeable to all of us. Because in doing that, we begin more and more progressively over our time together to share a common witness. Because this witnessing consciousness is common to everything in nature. We can tune into what is the whole of nature, what is noticeable to the plants and animals and to each other and to even the inanimate quantum mechanical structure of our physical space is actually attending as what's called a vacuum fluctuation, where there is actually this unity to the whole of nature that we can notice together by tuning in to what is it that we are sensing and feeling and thinking and intuiting together. So we can sense this witnessing. So I'd like to suggest that today we explore these three facets of us. This habitual part of us, which can tune in with this creative part of us by simply looking into this common mirror like awakeness. And for us to talk about it experientially, what are we experiencing about these three parts of us all collaborating together within us as individuals and among us as a group? Would that be agreeable to everybody to experientially explore that way together? However we can. I mean, it's a practice, so we don't have to be perfect at it by any means. We just do it as whatever we can, because it is something unfamiliar for us to do, and yet nature provides this opportunity for us to become more coherent and self-organizing, self-aware, both individually and collectively. So let's take this step into a really challenging opportunity to be awake as one in this way. Thanks. Who would like to start?
Let's start. So I'm tuning into myself and letting Sperry's words filter through my consciousness. And I'm realizing in this moment how every moment is unique, and unlike any other moment. And there seems to be this continuity of me that flows through all these moments. And I'm tuning into myself and realizing that I'm one with this present moment. And so I feel that I'm also reformatting in every moment, and feeling to stay open to that, to not be clinging to the mind's notions of what's true, but to just allow the information of the present moment to come to me with an open heart, and to stay flowing and open with that and feel like keeps me in vibrancy and keeps me open to this beautiful now and everything that it has to offer. That's what I'm feeling right now. Thanks.
Well, lots of radio silence here, so I'll step in. It's a little quiet in the kitchen kind of right now, which is good. So I'm noticing our receptivity, our ability to hear each other and to be present. I'm noticing my smile and how much I enjoy, just maintaining the void, maintaining if there is a need to maintain it, just this self-organizing of more of being in flow with the formless and letting go of attachment to any form and staying in a life stream. And there's a beautiful pulse I'm noticing. This breath, grazing on the gazing, maintaining undivided and unbroken eye contact with my webcam. Very peaceful, that's what I'm noticing. It's really nice. Okay, pass the mic.
When I look at the camera to keep the unbroken contact, I've got the window behind and I got some beautiful trees. And I notice the rhythm that we are creating here. And I'm choosing to hear your voices more than the looking at the camera, because it looks like those trees move very gently the leaves with the wind. And I feel that that's more the rhythm where we are at the moment, in that kind of more subtle gentleness, connecting more with the plants, with with everything around, with the rhythm of life, and the way these trees' leaves move. Each of them, is very much the rhythm that we create here to try to attune with each other and with everything. And it's very gentle, it's a soft movement. I love hearing the different tones of voice, and it's that rhythm that I can see in the leaves moving gently, kind of tuning together. Thank you. Would like to comment.
As I notice how I feel by noticing and feeling all what we are feeling and that is present in this moment, I become more sensitive and feel of all feelings, open to receive and feel together. And by noticing these, I feel more peaceful and more in tune with all what there is around. I feel my skin, our breathing almost. I can listen to. I become very sensitive. And I love how I feel by feeling the sensitivity. I notice this as the witness, and I like how I feel. I love how I feel. Very relaxing. And I love seeing Anna smile and Alan, Brian smile and eyes, and I become very sensitive to everything and everyone. And everything becomes unique. The talking, the breathing, the seeing, the sensing expands. And I feel myself witnessing it. And I feel all of us witnessing it together. Thank you. I pass the mic.
Brian has gone into the total void, which must be very blissful, beyond all suffering. But he'll be able to get back. It's a technical wizard. So I notice the noticing, and I sense the habits of nature, the patterns, and by choosing to observe choicelessly what it is that there is to notice, there's a feeling of the habitual part of me and the creative part of me that can choose to choicelessly notice the habit patterns of nature within me and all around me, in all of you, and in the immediate environment, the inanimate architecture of this building, and the habits of nature, the plants, and the ambiance of the sky, and the land, and the animals, our creatures here, our pets, breathing. I can feel them. Feeling the one that we all can feel, the oneness of it all, of life itself, of existence. And so by tuning into the habits and patterns of life itself, choosing to do that, I feel that my creative nervous system and my habitual patterned, conditioned nervous system and all of you and nature itself together as a whole. And the fact that I can choose to do this as a creative act, that it would seem that to choose to be choiceless is to give away my free will, but in fact, this puts me in touch with the will of nature, with the will of creation. And now I can participate in it freely, co-creatively with all of you, and it feels wonderfully liberating. I feel more spacious. I feel this blissful, loving kindness and joy that just naturally emerges as I come into alignment with all that is. And so counter to what might have been the expectations of my ego mind, which may have felt limited in the past by how others have related to me or how I have felt trapped in life as an isolated, separate self. There can be I can sense how a part of me can feel rebellious and want to detach or disconnect and be my own separate, individual self doing my own thing. Yet I can also feel how that is that self-isolating tendency is actually a way of imprisoning myself, and by isolating myself from the whole of life, I actually feel I am less free and more bound by my egotism. And so by surrendering into this greater unity, I'm actually experience myself to be incomparably unique and unforeseeable and surprising and delighted in finding this new way of being each moment. And it's really liberating. And it's just through awareness, being aware of itself in every possible way that it can be represented to me and to us each moment at the level of form as it arises spontaneously, afresh and new out of that which really has no image, it has no form, this mirror-like witnessing that seems to be coordinating the whole of existence as an indivisible aspect of it all that is reflecting everything. In the same way we could stand in front of a mirror and every image is united by the mirror. All of our images, all of our perceptions, all that is, all of nature is being united by this reflective, mirror-like awakeness. That's my experiencing. What are you all experiencing? Thanks. Who would like to speak next?
Oh. Absorbing your words and I'm seeing in my inner vision how the plants and the animals are constantly in conversation with the sun and the wind and the temperature and everything that's in their environment. They're constantly reorganizing and recoordinating themselves in accordance with their surroundings. And it's sort of like symphony, this incredibly infinite symphony of stillness and movement that's constantly here. And myself as a being with free will, I can shut myself off completely from the present moment and the symphony of the environment, or I can tune into it, or I can tune into it sometimes and ignore it other times. It's like a constant invitation / challenge to participate in the present moment, or be lost in the mind and sort of ignore what's going on around me. It's really incredible. It makes me feel like leaving the house and living in a tent or something, to be more in tune with what's going on around me, growing my own food, really digging into nature like that. I love the invitation that life provides to always be more present. There's always an opportunity to be more present, to participate more, to be more aware. It's always there, waiting for me to join in. It's really nice to contemplate on that. Okay, thanks.
There is a feeling of relaxation and softness and some kind of extraordinary sense of life. And I cannot help seeing that tree because it is in front of me. It's huge. All the huge trees around me through the window. The way they move is the rhythm of. I don't know, it's very soft. The sun shines on them, so it's bright as well. Every single leaf is moving. So it's not that it moves like, with a lot of. It's subtle. You have to look at it and then you see every single leaf is moving very subtly. And together is forming a kind of harmonious kind of movement. That is each leaf, and then, it's a whole movement. This is a whole of life there that we are having here as well. There's kind of an image that I can see it beautiful in front of me. There is just the same here, that each leaf allows wind, allows life to pass through, and then together it just forms a kind of symphony of harmony that just by letting go, allowing life to pass through, the life force to manifest itself without pushing, without interrupting it. Because those leaves are so soft, aren't they? So they can be really, as we can allow the wind to caress us and to just letting it come, letting it pass. It's not hard and strong and it's kind of stuck in there. It's flexible. So I can see that flexibility here in us, this allowing whatever happens to happen, be open, expressing what comes naturally. And Then in front of me I can see the orchestra. I can see that together we form something. And I can imagine that there are other trees. I can see 1, 2, 3, the huge trees here. They are everywhere as well. They are everywhere. And with that, I can imagine all the people that now, at this moment, they are meditating. So they are, there will be so many people now in the world attuning. With their own symphony, connecting with the great symphony of life. And we are part of that. We are like kind of one of the trees, kind of with all these leaves. There are many, because the world is big. And sometimes I'm fascinated by the amount of people that these days you just Google or anything are kind of coming together in meditation. Right now, there will be lots of people, and how we are attuning with them as well. Okay. There is sense of be part of a huge symphony that is happening right now and always, and the privilege to be able to together kind of consciously living this extraordinary meeting here, becoming conscious of how extraordinary life is. Thank you. Would like to go next?
Brian, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, I'm going to say a few words here or share a bit of what I'm noticing, and then I do need to go. We have previous engagement for today. The plan was just to help launch it and then move on, but oneness is just so inviting. So, I'm noticing such a peace that pervades, a peace that surpasses the need for understanding, that it's just so beautiful to tap in. And I know that it's even more available, it's readily available when we're practicing in a group. And just by noticing what I'm noticing, or we say awareness of awareness, just starts to immediately give access to love and to sustain this just wonderful space and mirroring life itself. And this is such a wonderful quality to have, because this is to some degree what people are seeking. So by just reflecting life itself, we're tuning our own tuning forks, attuning into life. So I'm noticing just how beautiful and radiant our sunrise and birds chirping and getting our day going here, and just the energy is real well rested and happy and excited and pretty stoked. So got about another hour to go, my friends. We'll say bye from here. Have a great one.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Yes, life is a blessing, as Brian smile is a blessing for all of us, I feel. So beautiful to see his smile and eyes so bright and happy. And yes, we are here noticing how gifted we are. And I was recalling to what our will, how, when we become aware and conscious of this, of what we feel, of what we are through life itself, we become freewheeling. We become choiceless and we become one with nature. And as nature, we become a totality. We become powerful and strong. And then our ego disappears and merge into this oneness force. So it's so beautiful to feel how, by being aware, being noticing, as Sperry was saying in the beginning of the call, to being invited us to notice the witness, to notice our creative mind, this unconscious and our conscious side that finally are one. As we notice them, we become free and happier and relaxed. But I feel that we need to constantly, we need to be aware and give this feedback to ourselves to be conscious, to feel consciousness as one with us. And like nature does it naturally, we can do it too if we are aware of it. If we constantly are in this continuous noticing. And yes, it's a miracle to be and to see, to notice how by noticing and paying attention, we become free and one with all. I pass the mic.
I'm, in just sensing and I'm naturally contemplating and reviewing, as happens in meditative self-awareness, everything that I have ever experienced or considered. And so still, right here in the present moment, it's natural for me to look at how there's a strong tendency, having been handled by my parents and caregivers and brothers and sisters and teachers and friends, as if I were a separate person, separate object in their lives. That I have been taught to look at things as things that I can have, or things that I can get rid of, or things that I don't want, or people I want to be with, or people that I don't want to be with, and I get very choosy about all this, and yet have this feeling of, in all that separative, divisive way of attending to life itself, miss the wholeness of it and not perceive the indivisibility of existence with everybody and everything. And by isolating myself, by paying attention in an overly selective, preferential way, I can feel driven to try to complete myself through this objectification, or how can I get acknowledged, get the attention, get the awareness from outside of me, from other people, so that I feel connected to their awareness. As though I can earn this unity, which has this loving, joyful, blissful, completing, nourishing quality, that I would have to earn that by performing in a way as a separate self, as an ego. That by doing this and doing that correctly and not making any mistakes, that I could earn the right to be recognized and acknowledged, in the whole deal that goes into that. And that a certain amount of that, of course, is an interesting, fun challenge through skill development and learning, knowledge and association with other people and with society as a whole, that I can contribute in some way that others will find useful and meaningful and worthwhile. But if that's my only world that I connect with, I can feel quite neurotic and feel like nothing I do makes me feel loved and loving. And so I lead a life of quiet desperation, as David Thoreau called it. And many others have commented on how, even the Declaration of Independence has in it the clause of the pursuit, that everybody can have the right to pursue happiness, as though it were something that had to be caught like an animal or something and eaten. So it's really quite amazing that we need to unlearn a lot of this, the drive and force that's behind experiencing and perceiving ourselves as divided from everybody and everything, and how we're trying to, each of us, and as a collective, as a society, attempting to get what we feel we are, by grabbing it and aggressively and trying to obtain it, and at the same time treating certain people and things and processes with indifference. By ignoring them, we feel that we can attend to those that are most, offering us the most potential to get what it is we want. And so we end up, not only individually, but as a species, behaving very neurotically and really losing faith and confidence in ourselves as a people. And actually, by ignoring so much of what we are, we end up polluting the world, we end up polluting ourselves, we end up eating badly. Our mind-made self, which is determined to achieve what we want, is actually very stress-bound and is toxic. And other people find that we're unlovable, we're so toxic, and they're all being toxic and divisive and stressed out, and so our relationships don't work, and it really sucks, the big one, if I may put it that way. So we become our own worst enemy, and that it's so simple to solve this whole puzzle that's been puzzling all of us by simply noticing the unity of it all is really pretty extraordinary. And the momentum of the neurotic, divisive way of paying attention has a certain inertia, like a car rolling downhill. It's sort of hard to stop it once it gets underway, and and yet when we pay attention in this undivided way, the car comes to a stop, by way of metaphor, automatically. We don't have to resist the car rolling downhill into a gully and smashing into something. We can, just through the power of present moment attention, noticing its indivisibility, habitually and creatively and co-consciously, through this shared witnessing, which is universal and impersonal and at the very core of what is personal to all of us, we can co-creatively choose to be effortlessly awake as this awakeness and rise up out of this pain and suffering and madness into this blissful, heavenly awakeness as an indivisible being, and be actually more unique, experience ourselves as individually more incomparably unique each moment, afresh and new and delighted and surprised by who we are becoming, by the fact that creation is recreating all of us and that we can consciously participate in this recreation and play of consciousness as unique individuals. Who would like to speak next?
I'm just feeling so much that that life and consciousness and nature are all they're inviting us to participate in this incredible offering of banquet that the universe just manifests spontaneously, and it's here now. We have always this choice to tune in to our surroundings as an integral part of it, and through our conscious participation, we are weaving this web of abundance, like natural abundance, not based on all these concepts that have grown into a sort of semblance of life that we have, but actual life, undivided conscious participation. It's here now. It's like just waiting for the mind to tune into it. And it's like when you were just talking about momentum, the seeming weight of momentum, of sort of mind-created things, thinking about a car, like a big car or a big truck. When you press on the brakes, they're insufficient to stop the heavy momentum of that heavy machine. You can smash into something and cause all this havoc. And this ability that a human being has to tune himself out from what's happening in the present moment is sort of like that big SUV. It creates all this heavy momentum. It's hard to put the brakes on. Whereas the present moment awareness, it feels so light and embracing. And in this light, we can just, it's like waking up from a dream where you were in an SUV. You're just not in it now. It's always here for us. It's so miraculous that we can totally shift out of this sort of momentum of thought that builds on itself and just sort of like duck out of it, and then we're back in reality here. To me, it's like the most amazing force of forgiveness that can possibly exist, is that you don't have to be that image in your mind that you are. You can just kind of like think, duck out, and here we are in the light together, holding hands, and it's so beautiful. I feel like the experience of it is so important, to leave that mind concept of everything behind and actually do this present moment participation like we are right now. We're supporting each other and realizing this. Every moment we're doing this and sort of demonstrating for each other and with each other that we can do it and how to do it. Man, it's just really awesome. I'm so feeling it right now. Thank you.
I'm getting very relaxed here, as you probably can notice. And just relax, you know. I think, like a sunny day when you just sit there and the sun is just kind of warming you up, and it's just like, okay, here I am. So I could have a siesta. A Spanish siesta, just allow the warmth just to, you know, to rock me a bit, and that's it. There is a quality of relaxation and well-being here. Quality of slowing down and just being. The quality of softness. And stillness. And silence. And a quality of togetherness and unity and simplicity. It's very, very simple. I like this of showing up, just showing up and being so simple. And be open and present, and that's it. And the complications arise from when they're interpreting, judging, wanting, you know, kind of. I'm remembering my own Katie, who would you be without that thought, you know? And normally people say, well, I will be very well, you know, it would be nice. Yeah. So who are we when we don't try to change things and interpret and value and compare? And who are we when we don't do that? And I think we are this, which is blissful and peaceful. And the simplicity of it, that we are all kind of sharing how simple it is. It couldn't be more simple. More complicated to have things, have to compare and to want this way, that way. That's very complex and tiring. But just do nothing and just don't add anything. It couldn't be more simple. So I think this meeting of ours is so simple. That is has the beauty of it. Nothing to do, nothing to even create because it's already there. And just to be. And I feel grateful to be here with all of you, and with you as well who are watching, and with those as well who are resonating, well, with everybody, because whether you want or not, we are all resonating in the same vibration. Sometimes I think we complicate lives by inventing stories that don't go anywhere because, reality is what it is. We are connected. We like it, we don't. It doesn't matter. Reality doesn't. It's what is. And deep inside, I think that we're all connected. It's a fact. It's a fact to me. I can see that is the case. And the rest is a bit of a waste of energy. So relax. I could sleep with the lullaby. Even without the lullaby, because the lullaby is here anyway. Doesn't need to have words or the tune. Also can be expressed like that, but it's really here. And it's a beautiful lullaby because it's not loud, it's not too many words, it's just thank you. Would like to go next?
Yeah, and I feel I noticed that everybody's talking about oneness. Something is happening. There's a shift. There's a need. Of something. And of course, we live in a divisive world. This oneness is not the choice. It exists and we are it. We don't know how to be sometimes, so because we know we are this oneness. And we, by being here in this practice, in this exercise, in this experience, we learn how to do it. We learn how to be. It's very challenging to it's very easy at the same time because we have no choice. We are connected, as Anna said. We are connected to everything and to everybody, and as we notice that, we include everything. We we surrender to nature, to all what it is. Everything is fine. So I've noticed these rules, this experience that we share here, that we are here, what we're doing here is learning how to be one, learning deliberately in a conscious, not noticeable way how to pay attention to this oneness. Because it's beautiful. It's when you become, when you notice it, when you live your life in a state of oneness, and you become to notice everybody and everything, and you include everything. You become free of judgment and division and divisiveness. It is a gift. It's so nurturing and so wonderful to feel. That I don't know why we resist it. In a way, we keep resisting it because we don't know better. And sometimes it's what we believe. And finally, when we notice and when we discover that it's so easy, that we are this oneness, we are one, we are all connected. The greater avatars of all scientists, everybody's into it now for some reason. Because being this oneness is the only way. It's just pure bliss and happiness. And it's real bliss. And it's beautiful that we can notice it, we can feel it. And by practicing it, by doing this practice every week, every moment, every time, being aware, paying attention, we can shift to this oneness, to this feeling of love, to this universe of nature, to the nature itself. Thank you. I become very passionate.
Well, it's just occurring to me that this, why is it that we don't recognize this option more readily? I remember when I was a little boy, I wondered, why hasn't humanity, in all these hundreds of millions of years or whatever, why hasn't nature created creatures that recognize this together? So that we're not in conflict and we're not polarized and competing for the same resources, and we can collaborate and be much better off. It seemed rather frightening that that it hadn't been figured out yet. And there were individuals who had woken up. Probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of individuals over the thousands of years who have realized this unity. and lived in unity, and have communicated what that is, and have inspired us. And yet there's always more to be sensitive to and to learn for ourselves, each of us, and to learn together, because we need to be awake and sensitive and sharing a common intelligence, a universal intelligence, a natural intelligence. And we need to pay attention alone and together to tap into, find the water, breathe properly. We'll be able to balance on 2 feet when we're walking. There are many things that we, learn how to do. But learning how to do this seems to be very elusive. It seems like, does anybody tell us, when we're growing up, our parents or friends, to just simply pay attention more consciously? I mean, people say, pay attention. Can I have your all's attention now, please, And this kind of thing happens. And the movies and the advertisements all try to capture our attention by showing us something new and we haven't seen before. That's the implications of which are extremely dramatic, and so that pulls our attention to notice this flash of experience that we can tune into. But being awake to this awakeness, it's not like flashing, a soft little puppy dog, or it's not sexual innuendo. It's not like, oh, I could have a red Cadillac. It's completely relaxed and effortless, so it doesn't really attract our attention, and it has qualities, in addition to having many distinctions, I find right here, right now, noticing it with you all. In addition to this habitual part of us that is serving a certain pattern of adaptation through unconscious, subconscious awareness, and this creative part of us that can choose what to pay attention to, which can serve us and lead us, help us lead what we're experiencing or choose what we're experiencing. There's also this witness, which is completely unobligated. It's just happening effortlessly and automatically, and usually we're not attending to it because we're so distracted by being confused and divided and driven to try to complete ourselves through actions and thoughts, thinking about other thoughts. But we can break down the choiceless witness and the creative observer that we can direct choicefully, and this habitual part of us that has adapted us to be able to survive without thinking about it, and is going on automatically. That there are three parts of us. There's one that is completely unobligated, which is not something that we really imagine ourselves to be. We feel that we're obligated. We have to be doing something. We have to be somebody. We've got to know what it is that we are, and we have to have knowledge. So to be unobligated seems irrational, And then there's the servant, that we're here to serve each other and to serve nature and to serve a common purpose and to find our purpose. How do we serve life and each other and ourselves? And then there is the leader. But we're afraid of being leaders. We don't know what to do. How do we lead anybody or lead ourselves? We're completely cuckoo. So to be a servant, we don't know how to do that. We don't know how to lead, and we don't know how to be unobligated. And these are the three main qualities that we discover when we're in undivided attention. It's quite amazing that we actually can relax and let go and absolutely do absolutely nothing at all. And when we are restored in rest, like in sleep, through deliberately being unobligated, being not required to do anything, we can be empty of all responsibilities and restore our capacity to be so awake and aware effortlessly that we're better able to pay attention with a completely easy way, not only alone but together here. And we can actually serve each other and serve ourselves in life by just attending in an unobligated way. And in the same time and moment, we are actually I'm leading us to attend constructively and co-creatively to what we are and who we are, what we can be. See how we can lead in an unobligated way and serve all at the same time? Pretty amazing, huh? Okay, who would like to speak next?
Feeling the space of our shared awareness. That it's such a statement in a way. Just this witness state and the shared awareness. It's just here. It's I'm not sure how to express this sort of inner vision, like the world that the mind has created is a total opposition to truth, and yet the truth has always been here. The truth is timeless and infinite. It embraces everything. It embraces non-truth and truth alike equally. There's nothing is excluded or rejected or embraced. Everything is just sort of embraced passively, but with this enormous force, depth, but not flashy or it's like society is created out of insensitivity, this kind of crude opposition to silence, and yet the silence is always here, beckoning, but requires a tuning and a sensitivity to tune into it. It requires a sort of sensitiveness of awareness to sort of silently slip into the space of witness and become very open and very sensitive and very quiet. And as we're slipping into that, it just sort of silently embraces our awareness, like the day slips into night. All of a sudden we're in this silent space, and just from tuning in together, but sort of sensitively, not like you're saying, Sperry. It's not like you're not jumping on the table going, it's the total opposite. You're quietly slipping into shared awareness, and then you're in here, and the seeming nothingness of the background awareness starts to reveal its profundity to you, and you realize the depths of yourself, the depths of all of us, and how this unseen world is so profound and so beautiful and so inviting. such a contrast to this sort of sound and fury signifying nothing that the mind represents. That the two seem to be opposites, but truth can't have an opposite. So it's a beautiful paradox. All right, thank you.
Two images are coming to my mind as we talk here together. One is these little dogs. Sometimes they bark so loud, and normally my partner and I see them perhaps in the park or in the countryside, and they jippy, jappy. I don't know what they mean or what they want, but they really, really go loud and so proud, and they seem to be doing something or saying something or, I don't know, having their say, whatever that is, but jappy. And I think, it's not scary at all. It's kind of, they're so small and so jappy that makes you laugh. And I'm thinking now, that looking at this moment, the life is so gentle with us, isn't it? I mean, the mind creates walls and creates stories and that, and I suppose it's like that jappy, both proud they are, like we are saying something, I don't know, whatever. And really, it could crush us any time in a way, it's kind of a gentle mother, okay, yes. But almost cute, isn't it? You look at them and I don't know what they're talking about, why they get so involved and why they make themselves to be like her, but they are so tiny. And so, if you want, powerless, it's kind of, and you look after them because whatever they're saying, they are small. So I imagine first like being gentle with human beings like that. We just pretend that we say something and we say very loudly and we make movements and we do, here we are, so self-important and doing this and doing that. And in the big picture of life, it's kind of that jappy, okay, keep barking a bit more. Nothing is going to change. If you want to, go for it. And you look cute, but, I take you home for a walk, have a bath, go to bed, sleep. So that's one of the things. And another image that's coming back to me is the gateless gate. And I remember hearing that image from Suzuki Roshi. And it's kind of the gateless gate. It's not a gate. It looks like you have to pass it. But really, it's open. It's really open. It's a trick. It's open all the time. While it looks like, it's something there and it needs to be open, it's very hard. It's really a gateless gate. It's so easy to slip into that. It's such a secret, it's kind of the secret of life. Just to go there gently, quiet. No glitter, no nothing. Just stop for a moment, and just sleeping. So easily. And really it's gateless because it's not any gate. So I love that image and yet it's a secret, isn't it? It's the beautiful, most secret that I think one can discover in life. That it's not noisy, hasn't have advertising and it doesn't. It's more subtle and yet it's much more regal than anything that might have any flashing, and it contains the flashing as well. It contains everything. So I think we're very privileged to share this and to stop a bit the jappy. Just useless, That's a bit cute. God knows how life sees it. God knows, gentle, and it looks after the good, after the bad. Yeah, just God knows, how we look in the big picture of the eternity, because what's the threat to eternity of some people thinking that they are destroying the earth or they are better or worse? I mean, the big picture of life, it sounds like it's going to sound very, I don't know, doesn't sound very impressive, I think, to eternity. Our little dreams of self-importance, the jappy little dogs that, okay, it's okay, we can hear you, but it means nothing, yeah. And I expect that most of human activity and most of human competitiveness and self-importance and all this, it really means nothing in the big, gentle heart of eternity. And perhaps God smiles at us, probably smiles, knowing that at the end we will go wherever we need to go. Okay. Sooner or later, it's okay. You're a bit happy. Thank you.
Everything is okay, as Anna said. And yes, we are here, as little creatures trying to just be and be free and happy and bark, 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 or talk, or feel, or do something. And yes, we are this beauty of creation. It's amazing beauty of being, feeling, sensing. And I think we do have a commitment with life. We do have a purpose to notice together. And actually, by noticing, we are discovering many things that are affecting how we live, what is happening in the world. So, we need to keep practicing these and be noticing and helping others to notice it, connecting, to help, to do something, to be aware of what we're doing here. And I noticed myself as I start more aware of noticing and paying attention to these, I feel less needy and like everything is, works and flows. And there is no need to keep searching or just very liberating way of being, and it's a great experience just by noticing. To feel connected as what we are. be aware of how we feel, what we're doing here, every moment, and how we're feeling, what we're eating, how we're loving. We found that, yes, when we become aware, the ego disappears, and there's no, we become just free and one with us and one with ourselves, and just we need to do something, continuing being aware of what we are every moment. And I thank you all for giving us a little time to share with you, and thank you, Anna and Gary, for being here every time and sharing. Thank you, Sperry, for your love. And
Oh, I mean, there's so much to this simplicity. It's like infinitely complex and utterly simple. And on the the combination is what's really so spectacular, and we're spectators of what is utterly and completely spectacular. And that having died at 4 and losing the fear of death and finding that death is this, that there is still this perceiving, this awakeness, which continues to awaken to all that it is noticing, and that we can together share a common witness and co-creatively evolve what forms we have and what form we want to have life take. I know. So that we have the capacity to collaborate here 3 times a week, and Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays at 7:30 Pacific time on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Tuesdays only 90 minutes, Thursdays 2 hours, and Sunday we come together at 10:30 in Pacific time, and so when that changes, it's still going to be 10:30, whether it's Pacific Daylight or Pacific Standard Time. So anyone in the world can come together at these 3 times for free. And is there something you wanted to say, honey?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I just want to say thank you to everybody. We're about to finish. We have 3 minutes left. I don't know if Gary, Anna would like to share something else with us.
Yeah, please.
I just want to say thank you. It's good to know that 3 times a week is possible to connect with you and with all of us that come here together. it's lovely to have that encounter. So I really want to thank Sperry for starting it, and to all of us for maintaining it. I do love it, and I think if I'm around, I'm always here, because if I go to Cambridge or something, it's not possible. And that's, I wish I had a mobile of those ones, the smarter one that you could say, hello, I'm here. It's just fine. So just to say my great gratitude, because it's a group that I love it. I know even if I lose it sometimes, this really helps me come back and remember, and it gives me a lot of strength to keep practicing. It's beautiful to do it with you. So just lots and tons of love and gratitude to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Anna. So wonderful to be with you.
Seems like we're just sitting here doing nothing, but the practice builds on itself, and it reveals the profundity of life and the profundity of yourself, and it makes you understand that you're truly boundless, shoreless, and all of us are the same. And we are engaging in truth when we do this practice together, and the effects of it are far beyond our individual participations, I feel, and it teaches you to live and abide in truth and speak from that place, and this is a true education, I would say. Very, very beautiful process it's different every time. It's never the same way twice. Sperry's always saying, truly it's unique, and it's a true creation. So we're building together and collapsing together. Nothing is lost and everything is gained. Bon, c'est tout.
Okay, well.
Thank you, Gary. And I just wanted to add that Sperry helped us. He was the one that started these many years ago, but there's really there's a group of people. There's a group of us that all together. There's this collective self that is here present and feeling and creating these connections, being this connection with us all and with you guys and with the world.
There's so many meditations going on right now in the world, all different styles, all different types. I feel that 24 hours a day on this earth right now, somebody is meditating, whether it's for a goal, to achieve oneness, to achieve world peace, to achieve who we are. It's all this achievement, but there's nothing to be achieved except who we already are. It's a revealment. It's really what it is. It's that revealment / undoing of the unnatural, unfocused and unbalanced attention towards this shared, balanced, harmonious interaction with life. And I feel we're healing the world together and healing ourselves at the same time. It's wonderful to be part of that great shift, great awakening, great movement.
So said we, in closing, that we organize, we clean and wash our cars and clean where we live and organize our desks or whatever it is that we have, and we've never really known how to organize ourselves together. We're trying to do it through all these other forms of organization, but here we're just allowing that by attending and accepting and noticing that we self-organize individually and collectively, and it's so effortless and easy. So it's nice to be able to organize and get organized and stay organized by simply attending to the whole in an undivided way.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. I think we get to the point that we need to leave now.
Okay.
2:34.
Yeah.
And,
All right.
thank you.
Yeah.
Guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, Anina. Yeah.
So we have all the mics up. Including Brian, but he's here with us all the time anyway.
Yeah, in the new sphere. We are all together. We cannot avoid it. No. We cannot avoid it. We better accept it. Lots of love.
Yes, lots of love to you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All the love there is. Love, love, love. Yum, yum, yum.
Thank you.
Yak, yak, yak. Bark, 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 bark.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.